Because if all we do is look inside of ourselves and look inside of the current organization, we're going to be limited. Good will elevate you to great, and that great will take the company to excellent.
Hi, my name's Devin. Today I own several multi-million-dollar companies. We started with $5,000 in a credit card. I don't know the easy way, I only know the hard way.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Whiteboard Entrepreneur Podcast, where I give straightforward advice to fuel the entrepreneur in all of us. I'm Devin Dickinson, and today I want to talk to you about how difficult it is for family-run, bootstrap-type companies to really recognize what good looks like. And I know I can teach this from the heart because I have absolutely experienced this and I have lived this. And what happens is, when you are a bootstrap company, meaning that literally you start the company on your own with your own finances, no investors, and you're just kind of bootstrapping it and you're paying for things as you go out of your own pocket. You start with a very small group, a small knit, because you don't have this, giant bank account backing you up, right? So you're starting small and you're growing people in your organization into these high level positions as you grow. And so, you start off as, $150,000 company. Who knows, maybe 10 years later, 8 years later, whatever, all of a sudden you find yourself and you're a $5 million company. And this is where most companies get stuck. And there's an article about this where it's like 98% of the companies get stuck under $10 million. Most of them right around that $5 to $7 million mark, and they can just never crack that $10 million nut. And I know, because I've been there. I've had companies like this, and I've seen it, and I've experienced it. I've made the mistakes. And what happens is that as a bootstrap entrepreneur, you elevate people into senior executive type positions. And frankly, you don't know what good looks like for that type of a position. So you take someone who worked for you, and they started and they put blood, sweat, and tears into the company just like you did. And they actually happen to be pretty good at like Instagram or Facebook or something. And all of a sudden you're like, well, I guess you're my CMO, right? And you raise that person up to be the CMO. Or let's say you're the person in charge of your company that starts off paying your bills, right? And you're paying your bills, and all of a sudden the company goes to $5 million, and all of a sudden you are the CFO, right? Or, all of these different that we elevate people to, and these titles within our positions that work when you're, a $5 million company. But if you want to go to next levels, you need to truly know what good looks like. I didn't know what good looks like. So what happened with me with one of my companies was, we ended up selling, and then private equity came in, and, there was some good and some bad over the course of the years. But what happened was we started hiring professionals specific to their job spec, right? So we actually brought in a CFO. Oh my gosh, my mind was blown what a real CFO looks like and what a real CFO can do. Because I was used to working, with bookkeepers and myself paying the bills and my wife paying the bills and our friend who did our books paying the bills. And to me, that's what a CFO was, right? But I had a new CFO, and oh my gosh, like they were able to do so much for me, make my dreams come true, do all of this modeling. We could go back historically and analyze profitability. We could do all of these things that you kind of just dreamed about, right? Same is true on the marketing side. With one of my other companies, we brought in marketing folks, and I was like, oh my gosh, these people know things that we had no idea. We thought we knew marketing because, we just kind of were learning as we went. But when we found people that were pros, worked for our competition or worked in the industry that had more experience than I ever did, oh my gosh, it was like all of a sudden I saw what good really looked like. And I saw what great could be. And I saw what excellent was. And, all of a sudden we started to break through these new barriers, right? Where people were elevating the company to higher levels. But this is very difficult for entrepreneurs to do. I know, I am one of them. You're all my friends, right? We're entrepreneurs. We all get stuck here. I can think of so many of my very, very close friends that have $5 million companies that always stay there because they're full of their family. They're full of their friends. They're full of the people that they just started the company with. And so they never hire true professionals, true hired guns from the industry, true pros at what they do. So you don't truly know what good looks like. And that good will elevate you to great. And that great will take the company to excellent. And that's the levels that we have to go to. Now, I will tell you, as an entrepreneur, we're very prideful. And this is the problems that we have in our life, is that, frankly, we're very proud of what we've built. I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and it was so apparent how proud he was of his company. And he should be proud of his company. But I could tell after 5 minutes of talking with him that he was exactly dealing with this situation. That he hadn't humbled himself enough and opened up his circles and his friends and his network to begin seeing, hey, what could good look like? How could we elevate to the next level? Because if all we do is look inside of ourselves and look inside of the current organization, we're going to be limited, right? And so I had to do this. This was not easy for me because, frankly, like I said, your pride gets involved and you want to be the smartest person in the room. I would tell you, normally now when I go to conferences, when I have peers, I don't want to be the smartest person in the room anymore. I want to be the person that is learning from people I want to be blown away by people, things that they're doing, challenged by things that they're doing, seeing things that they've done, have my mind expanded, have them introduce me to people that are absolutely pros, people that have done things that I haven't done in my organizations, and really start to humble myself so that I can see what good looks like, so that I can challenge myself to go to that next level within my company rather than just staying a small family-owned company. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's where you are comfortable with and that's what you enjoy and this is perfect for you and your family, hey, don't change a thing. But if you're frustrated because you're not going to those next levels, this may very likely be the case. It may very likely be that you don't know what good looks like in your company and in your organizations and in your various departments. And you're going to need to expand outside. You're going to need to hire, or find and recruit hired guns, people that are from your competition, people that have done things that you've never done before, people that are going to come in and teach you about your company. And that's humbling. Nobody wants to hire someone and have someone come in and be smarter than them, but that's what we should do. That's what we should set our expectations and our goals to be, is to have people that are better than us, that challenge us. So if you're the head of sales, maybe you shouldn't be. If you're the CFO of your company, maybe you shouldn't be. And that's probably hard to listen to. It's probably hard to hear. If you're the CMO of your company, maybe you shouldn't be. If your cousin is, maybe she shouldn't be. Maybe he shouldn't be. If the person who started with you day one is, the brains behind, your new ad spend, I'm not sure that's the right idea. I'm not sure that's the right answer. But we have to humble ourselves, expand our network, surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Look to hire people that are better than you. Ask questions that you don't know the answer to. Work on being the dumbest guy, the dumbest gal in the room, and sit there, shut up, and learn. You know why I know this works? Because the reason why private equity in the world exists, because all these really smart people with really big bank and funds behind them, they go and they look to buy companies just like yours. They look to buy companies that are kind of like, hey, they've got something special here, but I'm looking at these people and they don't really know what they're doing. They're this family bootstrap company, founder-led, founder-run. They got a bunch of dysfunction going on in there. We can buy that company. We'll tear it apart, put it back together, boom, and we're going to grow it to the moon. Private equity loves stuff like this, right? People love to go in and find these companies that have something pretty special, but are stuck because they don't truly know what good looks like. Listen, I'm going to leave you guys on this. You need to think about this. This is hard. How does this apply to you? How does this apply to your company, the people in your company, the departments you have in your company? Right now, you're probably thinking about a couple of them. And if you think about this, not only think about this, but actually apply it and do something about this today in your company, in your life, in your organization, it will help you. I'm Devin. This is Whiteboard Entrepreneur Podcast. I know it's going to help. Take a quick moment and hit that subscribe button for more content.